This is Part 2, Episode 113. The monster core was strangely swallowed by the little fairy doctor's skin, soon entering the swirl of grey poison gas. After which, it lingered in the middle of the swirl. Xiao Yan's expression became graver after the successful insertion of the monster core. His eyes slid to the jade box beside him, where the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva was located. The next step was the most important one. Xiao Yan's hand slightly curled. A suction force pulled the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva from the jade box into his hand. His eyes coagulated. A green-white flame separated from the surface of the little fairy doctor's body. After which, it wrapped around the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva. When the flame made contact with the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva, it immediately began to writhe as though it had been provoked. From the looks of it, it seemed that it intended to escape the flame. Xiao Yan would not allow such a situation to occur. The Bodhisattva body transformation saliva might possess a unique effect, but it needed to undergo a slight refinement by the heavenly flame before it could be used on the little fairy doctor's body. The green-white flame churned even more intensely. He slightly clenched his hand. Under this frightening temperature, the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva lasted 2 to 3 minutes before it gradually ceased wiggling. Xiao Yan removed the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva from the flame after the refinement was completed. However, he was surprised to see that the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva had gradually revealed many emerald green, dust-like particles. In the blink of an eye, they formed an emerald green bead the size of a palm. The Bodhisattva body transformation saliva slightly trembled the instant the emerald green bead was formed. Immediately, this bead fell and was grabbed by Xiao Yan's hand. This emerald green bead was not smooth. Instead, it felt a little rough. However, one could sense a thriving life force when one held it in one's hands. This is Bodhisattva seed? Xiao Yan's eyes revealed his surprise as he looked at the emerald green bead that had appeared in his hand for no reason. A moment later, his eyes focused as he exclaimed. The Bodhisattva seed, like the Bodhisattva heart, was something that originated from the Bodhisattva ancient tree. However, this kind of rare item was just as rare as the Bodhisattva heart. Normally, it would transform into powder in an instant after falling from the Bodhisattva ancient tree. It was extremely difficult for an outsider to obtain. The precipitation within the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva can actually form the Bodhisattva seed. Xiao Yan's eyes flashed quickly as he suddenly came to an understanding. The legend says that one would be able to sense the existence of the Bodhisattva heart by obtaining the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva was indeed true. However, the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva in the legend should mean the Bodhisattva seed. Only by obtaining the Bodhisattva seed would one obtain the chance to sense the legendary Bodhisattva heart. Xiao Yan slowly clenched his hand. A joy flashed through his eyes. He did not expect this unintentional consequence would enable him to obtain this unique item. A divine item like the Bodhisattva heart possessed an allure that could not be matched by an elite Doshan because the Bodhisattva heart could raise the chances of success while one was advancing to the Doshan class. Just this point alone was enough to cause every elite Doshan to pounce on it like a moth attracted to fire. Next will be to resolve the strength of the woeful poison. Xiao Yan's expression once again turned grave. He curled 2 of his fingers and swiftly pressed them against the little fairy doctor's lower abdomen. Following the arrival of his fingers, the green-white flame, surrounding the greyish swirl, immediately split apart, forming a small opening. Wave after wave of emerald green liquid swiftly entered through the gap. Finally, it carried a slight gurgling sound as it charged into the grey poison swirl. The grey-coloured poison gas, that was filled with a deadly aura, immediately reacted after the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva touched it. The greyish gas crazily churned. While it churned, the deadly aura contained within her body was swiftly neutralized by the life force contained within the Bodhisattva body transformation saliva. Little fairy doctor, circulate your do chi and suppress the poison gas. Turn it into a poison dan. Xiao Yan immediately let out a stern cry after sensing the swiftly disappearing deadly aura. The cry was just like thunder as it rumbled to the deepest parts of the little fairy doctor's soul. The little fairy doctor's soul recovered some consciousness after this cry from Xiao Yan. After which, she hurriedly circulated her do chi and followed the method that was described by the poison dan method from back then. She gradually began to suppress the mighty poison gas. Under the little fairy doctor's control, this poison gas spiral began to head to the monster core located at the middle. The monster core began to emit a wild, violent energy in the face of the poison gas in an attempt to resist the erosion. Boom! This kind of poison gas and wild energy collision did not last long before it suddenly unleashed a wave of deep muffled sounds. The energy within the monster core was swiftly swallowed and occupied by the woeful poison vapor. Along with the erosion of this poison gas, the monster core began to turn round, and the crystal started to emit a grey luster. The grey-colored poison gas spiral continued to rotate at a rapid speed. Mighty woeful poison gas surged unceasingly into the round monster core. As more do chi surged into it, the size of that monster core shrank at a slow pace, thank the heavens. Xiao Yan exclaimed in the outside world when he sensed the orderly scene occurring within the little fairy doctor's body. Immediately, a tiredness rose within his heart. After which, his limbs collapsed. Everything seemed to have smoothly progressed. Currently, all he needed to do was wait for the little fairy doctor to absorb all of the woeful poison gas. Once the poison dam was formed, the woeful poison gas would be fully under the little fairy doctor's control. It would no longer erupt without reason. It had been many years since he had made his promise to the little fairy doctor. Now, he had finally fulfilled it. While Xiao Yan was resolving the woeful poison body's problem for the little fairy doctor, there was a cold aura spreading within a large hall located deep within an icy region far from Yi City. You left with 54 people, yet you are the only one who has returned. Qianxi, is this the accountability that you have brought back? A white-robed figure was seated on an ice-cold throne in an ice-cold hall. A pair of emotionless eyes glanced at the old man creeping on the ground within the hall. His calm voice, however, caused the coldness within the hall to soar. Valley Chief, this entire matter is not related to this subordinate. All of it is because there is a mistake in the report. There is an elite Dozun in that group. This subordinate can be considered lucky to have managed to escape and return this time around. Dozun? How many star Dozun? A ripple appeared in the eyes of the human figure on the ice-cold throne when he heard this. He should only be a one-star Dozun. Otherwise, this subordinate would not have been able to escape from his hands. Qianxi hesitated for a moment before respectfully replying, no wonder he is able to turn Qianxi into such a miserable state. He is a one-star Dozun. An elderly voice suddenly sounded. If one were to follow the voice and look over, one would see another old man in a white leather outfit located in a corner of the hall. A smile was hung on this old man's face. He did not possess the respect an ordinary person would show when mentioning a Dozun, only one star. The human figure on the ice-cold throne slightly nodded. His finger gently pressed on his large armrest. A moment later, he spoke in a faint voice, this venerable self must obtain the woeful poison body. If it's a one-star Dozun, he does not possess the qualification to get this venerable self to give up. Do you know where that group headed to? Qianxi shook his head with some embarrassment when he heard his question. He hardly had the time to flee. Where would he find the time to bother about the whereabouts of those fellows? The human figure on the ice throne frowned when he saw Qianxi shake his head. A chill, that caused one's heart to palpitate, slowly permeated the hall. Qianxi trembled under this frightening chill that would even cause Do Qi to freeze. Bing Zuncha, there is no need to get angry. We are aware of where that group of people is. A strange black vapor suddenly appeared within the hall while a coldness spread. Immediately, the black fog gathered, transforming into a human figure. The black fog wiggled and a faint metallic clanging sound was emitted from within Hall of Souls. You have actually come to my Ice River Valley. What rare guests. The appearance of the black fog did not cause the human figure on the icy-cold throne to feel even the least bit surprised. He simply spoke in an indifferent manner. There is someone within that group who is a target of our Hall of Souls. Since we have similar motive, we might be able to join hands together this time around. What does Bing Zuncha think? A strange laugh was emitted from the wiggling black fog. The woeful poison body belongs to my Ice River Valley. We will leave the others to you. The human figure on the ice-cold throne slowly stood up. A frightening air seemed to have been spat out of his breath, transforming into a cold stream that spread apart. He spoke these words softly after glancing at the figure made of black fog. You are indeed worthy of being Bing Zuncha. This boldness is something that an ordinary person has difficulty matching. TSK, in that case, I hope that we will cooperate well. While a large hand was moving against Xiao Yan's group in an ice-cold, large hall, the space of a wormhole on the far edge of the pill region began to form some ripples. Immediately, many human figures broke through the space and appeared. After which, they emitted some swoosh-swoosh sounds and stood orderly in this open space. Numerous powerful killing auras spat out like volcanoes, causing this open ground to instantly become silent. Everyone was stunned as they looked at the black-colored figures. The hearts of those with stronger eyesight would beat rapidly at this moment because they would have discovered that the weakest among these black figures was at the Do Huang class. The fluctuating space slowly came to a stop in front of many people's unblinking eyes. Immediately, a delicate figure slowly appeared in the distorted space. After which, she lifted her leg gently and strode through the space, appearing in this sunny area. The delicate-looking green-clothed lady gently placed her foot on the empty ground while the entire place was silent. Her alluring, exquisite face was gently raised. She looked in the direction of the distant Yi city. Immediately, she revealed a smile. A smile that could ruin a city, Xiao Yan Gege. With Sana around, anyone who dares to touch you, I will kill them. After completing this safety precaution, Xiao Yan finally let out a sigh of relief. His eyes wandered in all directions. The light being reflected from the smooth stone walls caused him to narrow his eyes. By sitting within this altar, it appeared as though he was in a world of sunlight. It seemed as if this altar was another bright sun surrounding them. Currently, the interior of the little fairy doctor's body could be considered to have entered an orderly state. As long as she compressed the woeful poison vapor into the monster core, she would be able to successfully form the poison Dan. This process was something Xiao Yan was unable to help with. All she could do was rely on her own strength. Although there was nothing left for Xiao Yan to do in this place, it was naturally not possible for him to leave now. He needed to wait until the little fairy doctor completely formed the poison Dan before he could relax. After all, this poison Dan method was something that he had no experience with. Xiao Yan sat on the ground. He extended both of his hands in a bored manner and lazily stretched his waist. He shifted his eyes and suddenly stopped them on the bottomless hole within the altar. Xiao Yan blinked his eyes. He hesitated for a moment before shifting his body, carefully moving to the side of the hole in the ground. His gaze drifted into it, only to see an endless darkness. Other than its creator, it was likely that no one knew just where this hole led. The fire affinity energy inside is indeed extremely dense. Xiao Yan fondled his chin. He was unclear of why this hole no longer emitted the core fire seedlings. However, he was indeed a little interested in this thing. Of course, one should say that he was interested in the sun flame of this altar. After musing for a moment, Xiao Yan's hand gently pressed against the hole in the ground. He let out a soft cry and a suction force surged out of his hand. Following the surging of this suction force, a great amount of fire affinity energy was pulled up. Finally, it scattered. However, the so-called core fire seedling did not appear. Xiao Yan was surprised as he looked at the flame in front of him. The flame was pure white in color, but its interior was filled with countless vein-like blood threads. It was as though they were the blood vessels of this flame, covering its body. This is the sun flame. Xiao Yan gently extended his hand and received this white-colored flame. The fire energy within was extremely calm and did not possess the violence of other flames. However, with Xiao Yan's eyesight, he was naturally able to tell that this sun flame was much stronger than some ordinary beast flames. Due to it not possessing violent characteristic, it might not be strong when it came to attacking, but it was exceptionally suitable to be used to refine pills. After all, it was a little easier to control it. I wonder if this sun flame can nourish my flame creation skill? A thought suddenly passed through Xiao Yan's mind when he looked at this white flame. Currently, the life transformation flame was only in an embryonic form. It was far from sufficient for him to use it to form the extermination fire lotus. If this sun flame can also be turned into nourishment for the life transformation flame like other beasts' flames, he would have gained something for nothing. Xiao Yan did not hesitate even a little as this thought flashed across his heart. He clenched his hand and absorbed the sun flame into his body. After which, the glazed lotus heart flame surged out and easily refined it. Following which, the flame was merged with the tiny life transformation flame in his body. It is indeed effective. When the sun flame merged with the fire seed, Xiao Yan could clearly sense the fire seed significantly expand. This kind of swelling was far greater than when he absorbed some ordinary beast flames. A joy flashed across Xiao Yan's heart when he sensed the unique effect of this sun flame. This sun flame was not as difficult to tame as a beast flame. It was also extremely easy to refine it. If there was a large amount of it, it would be possible to cultivate this life-transforming fire seed. Upon thinking about how his extermination fire lotus would have enough resources to be unleashed without worry after the strengthening of this life-transforming flame, Xiao Yan's heart suddenly became fiery hot. His eyes suddenly turned to the hole in the ground in front of him as he laughed. He once again extended his hand and a suction force suddenly appeared. No wonder this ground hole no longer produces any core fire seedlings. They have all been blocked at this spot. Xiao Yan also obtained an understanding after seeing this cluster of blood-red liquid. However, He did not have any thoughts of dredging it. The energy contained within it was too wild and violent. If he touched even a little of it, the rest would also react. If he was careless, it was likely that even this spiritual strength would not be able to flee this hole in the ground. Xiao Yan mused for a moment before finally deciding not to bother with it. Just when he was about to turn around and leave, however, he suddenly glanced over a red-colored light glow flickering within the red-colored liquid. This is? Xiao Yan's soul turned its eyes toward that red-colored glow, only to see that there was a thumb-sized, round, red bead suspended within the sticky blood-colored liquid. The blood-red bead might not be big, but at a glance it appeared just like a fire bead with a flame burning above it. Its outer appearance was exceptionally mysterious. Xiao Yan's spiritual gaze was startled as he looked at the blood-red bead. A moment later, he finally inhaled a deep breath. Core bead. Core bead. Normally, it was called the core fire bead. It was a kind of energy bead formed from essence energy that was found deep underground after a countless number of years. This kind of bead contained an extremely vast, mighty energy within it. It was rumored that some Tier 8 or even Tier 9 medicinal pill would use this legendary core fire bead. This legendary core bead was usually hidden deep underground and was extremely difficult to find. However, when some volcanoes erupted, the core bead hidden deep within might be spat out. Normally speaking, most core beads in the hands of certain individuals were obtained by this method. It was extremely rare for someone to personally find this core bead deep underground like Xiao Yan just did. Xiao Yan's heart involuntarily beat a little faster when he saw this core bead. He similarly understood just how rare a core bead was. Moreover, the core bead was also a key ingredient in refining the core lightning bead. The core lightning bead was not a medicinal pill. Instead, it was a refinement that utilized an extremely unorthodox formula. It referred a kind of strange refining method to refine the core bead. If the refinement was a success, it would end up forming a core lightning bead. This thing could not be consumed by a person, but it possessed an extremely terrifying might. Even an elite dozun would at least suffer serious injuries even if they did not die should they be struck head-on by this thing. Xiao Yan had accidentally come across the refinement of this core lightning bead while searching through the medicinal formulae that Yao Lao had left behind. He had remembered it due to its shocking strength. After having arrived in the Central Plains, Xiao Yan had thought of creating one. However, he could only place this thought in his heart due to the difficulty of finding the core bead. He never expected that he would be this blessed today. If I am able to obtain it, it would end up being a kind of lethal trump card. Xiao Yan focused on the fiery red bead within the blood-red sticky energy. He mused for a moment before he was finally unable to endure the temptation in his heart. Wealth was found amid danger. It was worthwhile to take a little risk for a unique treasure like the core bead. Xiao Yan ceased hesitating as this thought flashed across his heart. A spiritual strength lingered over the blood-red-colored, sticky liquid. Although there was still some distance, the wild, violent energy contained in the liquid still caused some ripples form in Xiao Yan's spiritual strength. Xiao Yan ignored the slight ripple in his soul. His heart focused on that fiery red bead as he waited for the best opportunity to attack. After a visual inspection, Xiao Yan understood that the wild and violent energy within this sticky liquid had an intermittent strength and weakness. One could use the strength of the glow on its surface to identify the level of this strength. The core bead had just charged out of this blood-colored sticky liquid after being swept by Xiao Yan's spiritual strength when the liquid seemed to have sensed something. A wave of frighteningly wild, violent energy transformed into a blood-colored flood as it chased after the fleeing spiritual strength with incredible speed. Xiao Yan felt the skin on his head turn numb after sensing the hot energy being transmitted from behind. If he were to be struck by the wild and violent energy within such a narrow space, it was likely that his soul would crumble on the spot. Immediately, he clenched his teeth and unleashed his speed to the limit. With a swoosh sound, he charged to the exit of the ground hole. Xiao Yan's speed was extremely fast. However, the blood-colored flood behind him was also similarly quick. It was following close behind as it rushed over. During this chase, the hole's exit at the top finally revealed some light. Xiao Yan braced his mind upon seeing this. He once again increased his speed. The next instant, he charged out of the narrow hole in the ground. The spiritual strength charged out of the hole in a lightning-like manner and entered the spot between Xiao Yan's eyes. The core bead was grabbed by Xiao Yan in his palm. Xiao Yan curled his hand after the soul returned to his body. A suction force surged out and the dark black stone tablet by the side immediately shifted over with a rumbling sound. After which, it swiftly covered the hole in the ground. Boom! The dark black stone tablet had just covered the hole when it violently trembled. However, this black stone tablet had clearly been made from an extraordinary material. It was able to block the attack of the wild, violent energy. While the stone tablet was blocking the attack, the rays of light around the altar suddenly shifted. After which, all of them landed on the stone tablet. The tablet was just like an extremely heavy crown as it firmly pressed on the hole. With the aid of the sunlight, the shaking of the stone tablet was slowly reduced. A moment later, it stopped. Xiao Yan, who was waiting solemnly by the side, finally sighed in relief after hearing the stone tablet become quiet. Immediately, his eyes revealed a strange expression as he gazed at this ancient tablet. It unexpectedly possessed a suppressing effect that was really close. Xiao Yan wiped off the cold sweat on his forehead as he bitterly laughed. If his speed had been a little slower while he was within the hole earlier, it was likely that he could forget about obtaining the core bead. His soul might have even ended up suffering a serious injury. After gradually calming his fluctuating mental state, Xiao Yan hurriedly glanced at the little fairy doctor by the side. He sighed in relief when he saw that she had not been disturbed. After which, he lowered his head and slowly opened his hand. A fiery red bead was lying within it. 3 days passed by in a flash during this training. When Xiao Yan was immersed in the joy of the swiftly strengthening life transformation flame, the year-round tropical climate of Yi City suddenly turned freezing one day. Tiny snowflakes slowly descended from the sky in front of the stunned gazes of a countless number of people. After seeing the snow that slowly fell over the entire city, there was finally someone who suddenly sensed something wrong. He leaped to high ground, looked out of the city, and immediately became stunned. One could see a countless number of white figures slowly surrounding the city and coming from all directions. These white figures were wearing a similar badge on their chests. It was a beautiful snow flower with a bone-piercing chill. Ice River Valley. A countless number of people within Yi City were stunned as they looked at the white figures that covered the area outside the city. Majestic and shockingly cold auras continuously surged out of the bodies of these people. Finally, they influenced the environment of Yi City. The descending temperature within the city and the scattering snowflakes were surprisingly a result of the majestic, cold aura. These are all people from the Ice River Valley. Why have they come to Yi City? Their lineup is this frightening. Don't tell me that they have come after the Yi clan. Nonsense. The Ice River Valley's status is far greater than the Yi clan or even all the 5 great clans. Why would they covet after the Yi clan? In that case, do you think that they summoned such a large force just to come to Yi City to play? Due to the sudden arrival of the Ice River Valley's large army that had come from all directions, Yi City descended into a great uproar. They did not understand just what kind of person could get one of the 3 large valleys, the Ice River Valley, to head over with such a large force. The cold air outside of the city was just like a natural barrier. It finally slowly came to a stop when it had spread around a radius of 100 meters from the Yi clan. After which, they spread apart and covered the entire city. With this cold air barrier, Yi City was completely surrounded. No one could enter or leave. Yi clan, hand over the woeful poison lady and her group. Otherwise, the Yi clan will be destroyed today. While the people in the city felt panic because of the cold air barrier that had suddenly formed, a faint elderly voice was slowly transmitted throughout the city, spurred on by powerful Do Chi. Finally, it clearly resounded beside everyone's ears. Woeful poison lady. They are here because of the woeful poison lady. No wonder, it is unexpected that the woeful poison lady is at the Yi clan. These fellows are really bold. The commotion within the city had calmed greatly when they heard this elderly voice. Some people sighed in relief. It seemed that the Ice River Valley was after the Yi clan. Although they had surrounded the city, the Ice River Valley was unlikely to harm the innocents as long as the others do not act recklessly. A couple of white figures slowly walked through the air and arrived. After which, they stopped walking and swept their eyes indifferently over the city. After which, their eyes paused on the center of the city where the Yi clan was located. The leader of these few white figures was surprisingly Shi Qian, who had fled miserably from Qian Huazunja's hands back then. A couple of powerful Ice River Valley elders were beside him. Additionally, there was an old man with white-colored woolen clothing. The old man had white hair and a warm smile hung on his face. Even Qian Shi's eyes would contain some fear when he looked at this person. Following the appearance of Qian Shi's group, another uproar appeared within the city. Numerous exclamations resounded over the place. That is Qian Shi from the Ice River Valley? It is unexpected that even he has come this time around. The Ice River Valley has really put up a hefty price to capture this woeful poison lady. While the city was in an uproar, the interior of the Yi clan was also extremely uneasy. All the members of the Yi clan were looking at the lineup in the sky with stunned expressions, especially Yi Zhong and the few elders. Their faces were pale white. Qian Shuangzi, Qian Shi. Yi Zhong's mouth slightly trembled. Either of these people was enough to destroy the current Yi clan. Now that the two of them were together, this Yi clan, woeful poison lady? Since when did our Yi clan hide the woeful poison lady? An elder opened his mouth and questioned in panic. The people on his sides pondered his questions after hearing him. A moment later, they seemed to have recalled something. Is it Xiao Yan's group? The woeful poison lady is among them? Yi Zhong and the other few elders suddenly understood something. Their bodies trembled. Finally, they understood who the culprit was. What is there to panic about? It is not as though we are asking you to fight to the death with them. A faint voice suddenly sounded while Yi Zhong's group was panicking. Yi Zhong turned his eyes, only to see an elderly figure slowly appearing in the courtyard. That person was naturally Qian Huazunja. Yi Zhong and the others did not dare to slight Qian Huazunja. They could not afford to offend the Ice River Valley, but neither could they offend the person in front of them. At that moment, they could only reveal a bitter expression. Being caught in between two enormous beings was the most miserable fate. Qian Huazunja placed his hands behind him. His eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at the sky in the distance. His sight seemed to have penetrated through the air as it paused on the white cotton-clothed old man beside Qian Shi Dozun. They have still found this place, Qian Huazunja softly muttered to himself. A soft sound also suddenly appeared by his side. Qian Huazunja turned his head only to see a young figure standing on the building eaves. His body stood as straight as a spear while a sharp aura was vaguely being emitted. Looking at his appearance, who else could it be other than Xiao Yan? They are indeed resourceful to be able to find us here. How is the little fairy doctor? Qian Huazunja moved. He appeared beside Xiao Yan and asked, soon. However, she cannot fight now. Xiao Yan slightly nodded as he answered. Old demon Qian Shi, you fled quite quickly the last time. It is unexpected that you have summoned so many reinforcements. Xiao Yan's feet stepped onto the sky as he faced Shi Qian, who was holding a snake-shaped walking stick, on the other side. He involuntarily mocked. Qian Shi's expression involuntarily became a lot darker when he heard Xiao Yan's mockery. He said with a dense voice, Brat, you can just gain the advantage of words. Once you land in the hands of the old me will let you understand what is called a fate worse than death. A person who only managed to last one exchange dares to speak such arrogant words? Qian Huazunja grinned as he mocked. Seeing Qian Huazunja open his mouth, terror also flashed across Qian Shi's eyes. Clearly, he still possessed a deep memory of the dangerous battle from the last time. This friend should be the person who defeated Qian Shi, right? Might I inquire your name? The white cotton-clothed old man stared at Qian Huazunja and laughed. Qian Hua, so it is actually Qian Huazunja. The old me is the first elder of the Ice River Valley, Qian Shuangzi. The old man smiled in a seemingly friendly manner. However, his eyes rotated as he said, this friend, today's matter is the grudge between my Ice River Valley and the woeful poison lady. Will you agree if the old me asks you not to intervene? Qian Huazunja laughed, but he did not reply. All he did was simply shake his head. The smile on Qian Shuangzi's face was not reduced when he saw this. He continued to speak with a smile, in that case, the old me can only stop you, there is no need to hold back. Qian Huazunja returned the smile. However, a faint chill had already appeared within his eyes. Where is the woeful poison lady? Could she be hiding again? Qian Shi felt a little reassured when he saw the two exchanging tit for tat. He swept his gaze around him, but still failed to find the little fairy doctor's figure. He coldly laughed. Today, my Ice River Valley has formed a city-locking formation around Yi City. None of you can flee. Xiao Yan's eyes gently drifted over Qian Shi. A faint chill also flashed within his dark black eyes. There is no need to delay any longer. Things might change if you delay for too long. Leave this person to me. Hopefully, you will not make things go awry again. Otherwise, the Valley Chief will not let you off easily. Qian Shuangzi's old sharp eyes swept over the city. Immediately, he frowned. His sharp instincts told him that it was best to stop speaking to the people in front of him. After saying those words, Qian Shuangzi once again stepped through the empty air. After which, he appeared 10 meters away from Qian Huazunja. His eyes were locked onto Qian Huazunja. He did not even glance at Xiao Yan. Qian Shi nodded. His gaze was dark and ruthless as it turned to Xiao Yan. He laughed in a savage manner. "Brat, I want to see just who can rescue you this time around." Xiao Yan's expression was calm. Majestic Doqi began to slowly circulate within his body. "Elder Qianxi, this person is the target of my Hall of Souls. May I know if you can leave him to me to deal with?" Just as Qianxi was about to attack, a dense black fog suddenly rushed over from the distance. After which, it appeared in the sky. A strange laugh resounded as it did so. Xiao Yan's calm expression instantly turned dangerous when this black fog appeared. His eyes revealed a ferocious expression as he looked at the black fog a short distance away. He spat out, "Hall of Souls, it is really unexpected. It has only been a few years since we last met, but you have advanced to the Dozone class. The old fellow's eye for choosing a disciple is really quite good." However, regardless of how good his eyesight is, he was still ultimately captured by this protector. Ha ha! The black fog churned and transformed into a black figure. A strange laugh, that caused Xiao Yan's eyes to suddenly turn blood red, was once again emitted. A shocking killing intent surged out of Xiao Yan's body like a volcano. Both of his eyes were blood red as a voice that contained an incomparable killing intent slipped between his teeth, one word at a time. "Protector Wu." Xiao Yan's blood-red eyes stared intently at Protector Wu. It was a long while later before he inhaled a deep breath of air. His hands trembled as he suppressed the explosive fury and killing intent within his heart. His voice had also become a little hoarse due to his fluctuating emotions. "You deserve to die. Whether the old me deserves to die is not up to you as a younger generation to evaluate with such arrogant words." Protector Wu smiled coldly and said, "The old me is even able to capture Yao Chen, much less you, this useless disciple." Xiao Yan's expression was deadly. He waved his hand and the earth demon puppet, which was emitting a bright silver glow, flashed and appeared. A ripple rose around the black fog of Protector Wu when he saw the appearance of the earth demon puppet. A surprised voice was emitted, "It is actually a puppet? It is unexpected that after so many years, you are still only able to rely on outside strength. He, Protector Wu, this puppet can match an 8-star Dozone. However, you can rest assured that you can simply leave this puppet to the old me. All you need to do is capture this brat." Qianxi by the side smiled and spoke in a faint voice, "In that case, I will trouble Elder Qianxi. Relax, once I capture this brat, the old me will hand him over to Elder so that you can vent your anger properly." Protector Wu laughed in a sinister manner after hearing his words. With Protector Wu's current strength, he might not be afraid of this puppet, but it would be somewhat troublesome to deal with. He could save a lot of effort if Qianxi were to intervene and restrain it. "Relax, I don't require the puppet to deal with you." Ridicule flashed across Xiao Yan's eyes. He could sense that Protector Wu had also become much stronger when compared to back then. Based on his guess, he should be around the level of an 8-star Dozone. This training speed was quite great. From the looks of it, capturing Yao Lao back to the Hall of Souls had really benefited him. The strength of the current Protector Wu was only a little weaker when compared to Qianxi beside him. However, just this alone was not enough to make Xiao Yan feel helpless. The person in front of him was the one he hated the most. If not for this person, Yao Lao would not have fallen into the hands of the Hall of Souls and suffered an endless amount of bitterness. "Your tongue is as razor-sharp as it was before," Protector Wu faintly smiled. His foot immediately stepped forward. A clanging metallic sound was emitted from the black fog. Immediately, a black metal chain, with a black fog lingering over it, was extended from the black fog like a poisonous snake. It surrounded Protector Wu's body. A cold glint was flashing on the tip of the chain. "Relax, you will be able to see Yao Chen again very soon. At that time, this protector will let that old fellow know that not a single person my Hall of Souls wants will be able to escape." Xiao Yan's expression was cold and indifferent. A jade-green flame slowly surged out of his body. His hand was clenched and the enormous heavy Xian ruler appeared. The heavy ruler was slightly inclined as it was pointed at Protector Wu. Xiao Yan said, "Your life will be taken by me today." Protector Wu merely laughed in a chilly manner in the face of Xiao Yan's words. Black fog surged and the dark black chain that lingered around him suddenly trembled. It immediately transformed into lightning as it shot straight toward Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan's hand tightly gripped the heavy ruler. His eyes did not contain even the slightest ripple. His feet were gently shifted as the black-colored lightning penetrated the sky, shooting toward to his shoulder. A jade-green flame lingered over the heavy ruler. Xiao Yan turned his wrist and the heavy ruler carried a hot fire glow and ruthlessly hacked at the chain. Under the high temperature of the glazed lotus heart flame, the strange, black fog that lingered over the chain swiftly disappeared. Protector Wu was slightly startled as he sensed the enormous force being transmitted from the chain. Immediately, he let out a cold smile. His 10 figures formed many afterimages. After which, one could hear wave after wave of the sizzling sound of rushing wind. 10 black-colored chains shot out of his body. They swiftly entangled in the air and formed a huge black chain spear. Go! A soft cry sounded and the enormous black-colored chain lance rushed forth in a lightning-like manner from the strange, black fog. It approached Xiao Yan within a flash. Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed when the black-colored chain lance disappeared. His legs swiftly took a couple of steps back. After which, his heavy ruler suddenly drew a couple of mysterious arcs, 6-joint body flowing ruler, 6-joint fire. Afterimages appeared as the heavy ruler was suddenly swung. A fire glow appeared on the top of the ruler. After which, it carried a sharp ruler glow and whizzed out. The ruler glow had just left the ruler when the space in front of it became distorted. An enormous chain lance broke through the air and revealed itself. It carried a frightening wind as it appeared in front of a countless number of gazes. Finally, it ruthlessly collided with that ruler glow. Bang! A shockingly loud sound appeared. A vast, mighty energy ripple spread out in a ring-like fashion. A silver glow flashed under Xiao Yan's feet as his body swiftly withdrew. A mere 2-star Dozone dares to collide head-on with this protector. You are really seeking death. Protector Wu gave a dense smile. The black glow on his finger flashed as it suddenly pressed against the empty air, split. After Protector Wu's voice sounded, the swiftly spreading energy ripple suddenly emitted the intense sound of splitting wind. Immediately, 10 black figures suddenly rushed over like black-colored lightning. Their target was all the fatal spots around Xiao Yan's body. Xiao Yan knit his brows slightly after sensing that his entire body had been locked onto. However, his great battle experience allowed him to avoid panicking. The heavy ruler in his hand danced and numerous ruler afterimages appeared in a densely packed manner, transforming into layer after layer of defenses. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.